Hey y'all, so today I have the Do It Yourself Bright Ideas Collection. 7 polishes, they're neon creams. They are on sale right now and she still has some in stock. These are from her second restock, so be sure and pick some up. I don't know if there's going to be a third or not. I did purchase these neon creams. They were $52 for the whole set plus shipping, and it didn't take very long for me to get them. It was 3-day shipping and I got them in 2, so that was great. So be sure and check out her website. I'll leave the link down below where you can get all of her information and check it out. So let's just get into the swatches. I will be wearing a base coat for all of these swatches. The base coat I like the best is from At My Dream Polish. I will link her down below, and this is her Smooth Gem base coat. Our first swatch is the Neon Yellow, Let Bygones Be Bygones. So here is one coat. It's a little bit streaky. You can see the brush strokes in it, but for a yellow, it covers very well on the first coat. I was actually extremely surprised at how well the first coat does cover. The formula is good. It doesn't seem to be wanting to run down the sides of my fingernails. I do feel like if you were to put too much on, it would, so maybe just depending on your application, but for me it's working great. You can still see my nail line a little bit, so I will be doing another coat. Here is one coat of Let Bygones Be Bygones. Here is 2 coats. It is still a little bit streaky. You can see my brush strokes a little bit on this, but it is a yellow, so for it being a yellow, it actually built up really nicely on the second coat. I can still see my nail line with the second coat, so I will be giving it a third. Some people might be able to get away with just 2 coats, but me personally, I want to see as little as nail line as possible, so I will be giving it a third coat. Here is 2 coats. Here is 3 coats. The brush strokes are less noticeable. They're still there, but when it dries, I do feel like they go away. Of course, I put a top coat on everything, so I'm not really that concerned about it. As long as you have a good top coat, then you'll be fine. We are completely opaque in 3 coats as well, so 3 coats of this and a good top coat, and I think that you'll be good. Here is 3 coats of Let Bygones Be Bygones. Next is the Neon Green, Avoid It Like the Plague. Here is 1 coat. The formula on this is good as well. All these creams have the same formula, so there's nothing to worry about there. It doesn't seem to be as streaky as the yellow. It is a little bit streaky, but not as bad. I can still see my nail line with just 1 coat, of course. I feel like that's usual with most polishes, so it will be getting a second. So here is 1 coat. So here is 2 coats. It is going on less streaky. I can't see my brush strokes as easily. And when it dries, they do dry almost invisible. But like I said, just get a good top coat and you won't have a problem. I can still see my nail line with just 2 coats, but I'm a little bit picky. And so like I said, some people might be able to get away with just 2, but for me, this will be getting a third coat. So here is 2 coats. Here is 3 coats. And it's building up really nicely. The streaky brush strokes are even less noticeable with the third, and I feel like the color does pop a little bit more with the third coat. It is completely opaque in 3 coats as well. So here is 3 coats of Avoid It Like the Plague. Next is the Neon Orange, The Rest is History. Here is 1 coat. The formula on this one is good as well. It's not too thick, not too thin. I feel like it has the same streakiness as the green. The yellow might have just been the most streaky because it's a yellow. I feel like you get that with most yellows. We are not completely opaque in just one coat, however, so we will be doing a second. Here is one coat of The Rest is History. Here is two coats. This builds up really, really nicely. This is completely opaque in two coats. I do notice that the brush strokes on this one are less noticeable from the camera, but in person they were still a little bit there. But like I said, I put a top coat on everything, so I'm not too concerned about that. Here is two coats of The Rest is History. Beg the Question is a neon red, and it's freaking out my camera, but my swatch picture is true to the color. Here is one coat of Beg the Question. Again, the formula on this is good. It's not too thick, not too thin. I just really, really like these neon creams. I think she did a wonderful job with them. It is still a little, my nail line can be seen a little bit, so I will be doing a second coat. But I feel like with most polishes, it's typical to do a second coat unless the polish has a really strong hollow in it. Here is one coat of Beg the Question. Here is two coats. With this one, the brush strokes aren't as noticeable on the second coat, so you might even be able to get away with not wearing a top coat. Again, like I said, I always wear a top coat, so I don't ever have to worry about something like that, and I just feel like it helps hold your polish on there even better. It is building up really nicely, and so I feel like two coats and we will be good. Here is two coats of Beg the Question. Selling Like Hotcakes is a neon pink. Here is one coat, and it is applying beautifully. Very minimal on the brush strokes for this one. I can still see my nail line, so I will be doing a second coat. Here is one coat, and I do apologize for the camera flip. Two coats of Selling Like Hotcakes. It builds up wonderfully. Very minimal to no brush strokes on this one. And it is completely opaque in two coats. Here is two coats of Selling Like Hotcakes. This neon purple is called Cat Got Your Tongue. Here is one coat. For it being a purple, it is a little bit more sheer than what I was expecting on the first coat, but it is still a great formula. It is very nice to apply, and the brush strokes are very minimal on this one as well. It is still a little bit sheer, like I said, so I will be applying a second coat. Here is one coat of Cat Got Your Tongue. Here is two coats, and it actually builds up really nicely on the second coat. I was actually surprised, considering how sheer the first coat was, that it would build up this well. The brush strokes on this are minimal as well. The formula is good, same as the others, and I believe that it is opaque in two coats. Here is two coats of Cat Got Your Tongue. And last we have the neon blue. When it rains, it pours. Here is one coat. It applies very nicely. It is a little bit sheer for it being a blue. I was expecting it to be a little bit more pigmented, but it is a little bit sheer for a blue, but maybe it'll build up nicely just like the purple did. I have forgotten to mention that these polishes do water marble, so be sure and pick these up if you're having a hard time with that. These made my life a whole lot easier. Here is one coat. Here is 2 coats. And I will say that these dried a shade darker than what I was putting on. So when I was putting them on, I felt like they were a little sheer, but they dried a little bit darker, so they weren't quite as sheer. But the second coat is building up nicely, and it looks like it will be opaque in 2 coats, and so I won't need to worry about a third. Here is 2 coats of When It Rains, It Pours. So my favorite from these was this red Beg the Question. It's beautiful on, it makes you look tan, which is great for summertime. It has a great formula. Sadly, my camera is not doing it the color justice it deserves. My swatch picture is true to the color. Thanks for watching. It was fun doing this. Maybe you'll see more.